Right, good evening and welcome to The Last Word. When it's Tuesday, it's 9:30 p.m. or thereabouts. It's time for The Last Word. And this is what we have, conversations that look at things that have happened or are happening in the country. We look at data, we glean insights, and then we come into The Last Word. Tonight, we'll have an interesting topic. I and my colleagues, my name is Eric Latif, my colleagues are Zaha Ndimuli and James Smart, as usual. And tonight's topic is, will upcoming by-elections be a test for 2027? We know that November 27th, we'll have several by-elections, several parliamentary and ward-level by-elections, and they are already gathering a lot of emotion across the country. That's why we have a live audience today, but also in addition to the live audience, we have some leaders. We have Peter Orero, who is the MP for Kibra constituency on an ODM ticket, Eddie Okech, the Migori senator, ODM, Getonga Mukunji, the Manyata MP, who was elected on UDA, but is now, of course, championing DCP and the United Opposition, and Kiruga Thuku, who's the chair of the UDA MCA's caucus. Also, in addition to them, we have a live audience of young people who are very, very vibrant, and we'll be engaging them to see what they think about that election. Welcome. You had a good week, Zaha? Smart?
Quite much of a good week.
No, I think it's a fruitful thing. The elections typically coming at this stage of 5 years sort of can be a referendum, against the regime or for the regime. So it will be interesting to see exactly how this plays out. Yeah. But I think the way it's playing out, it looks like a referendum of sorts. So it's interesting to find out if the people in those constituencies where elections happening or the wards are making decisions because they are affiliated to either government or the opposition. And why are we doing that? Yeah. And that, I think, is the basis of our conversation today. It's politics proper playing out.
100%. I think it's also a litmus paper test for the IEBC. Can they actually afford Kenyans a proper election? Or are we just going to go into an ambiguous situation once again? But also voter confidence and participation, political party behavior, and campaign patterns. We are just right about to see how exactly probably the definition of 2027 or not might look like. Indeed.
I always say that my feeling is that we don't have an issue with the IEBC as the general public, as a voter. Yeah. It's the politicians who have a problem with the IEBC. And if we keep the politicians out of IEBC, we'll be okay.
We'll be fine.
Look at how we do by elections. We're fine. But let's begin with the hot button, which is also just getting into ahead of 2027. ODM has backed 20 years since it was formed. And in this past weekend, the ODM political party was doing a celebration of 20 years. We saw speeches, we saw people coming out to speak, we saw the leadership, and what appeared to be people speaking from different sides.
Appeared?
Nice way of putting it. From Raila's burial to what was happening in Mombasa over this weekend, you can clearly see that there are people who are expressing themselves. Now, what does that mean? And there are those who have said, this is ODM splitting. It's also a possibility that ODM could be splitting, but it also presents a chance for ODM to actually show what it is. Now, ODM has, for the last 20 years, of course, been known as the Raila Odinga Party. It was Raila who was ODM, it was Raila who was providing leadership and stewardship, and it's Raila who was providing the true north of the political party. Now, with Raila's demise and his absence, what's going to happen to that party? If you look back at other political parties, KANU, Kenyatta died, Moi came in and took over the party, and he ran with the party. After 2002, we saw KANU flounder. And the person who became the chair of KANU, Uhuru Kenyatta, even left KANU and went and formed ODM. And among the speeches that were being that is Uhuru forming ODM, right? So KANU, after Moi, after the big man exits the stage, KANU basically appears to go down. Same with Ford Kenya, with Jaramogi exiting, with Kijana Amalo exiting, then we go into Musikari Kombo, and now Moses Wetangula. How is Ford Kenya? Is it a strong political party as it was when Jaramogi was heading it? Or if you think about Ford Asili and Kenneth Matiba, or DP and Mwai Kibaki, now here is ODM. It's an opportunity for ODM to actually define itself. And maybe what we are seeing is part of Raila's legacy. He groomed very many young, strong people who are leaders, and they are squabbling over now who actually takes over the leadership and the helm of ODM. It's an opportunity, I think, for ODM, whether it moves beyond this to become an institution, beyond the personality of Raila Odinga, or it becomes just a movement that clings onto the memories of Raila Odinga. This is a defining moment for ODM.
It is.
Absolutely. I think you have to wish them well, because we don't do well with political institutions in this country for the exact reasons that you've stated, that political parties become private properties of the party leader, and then they dictate the tempo, all right? So it's like a football match. The person who's the party leader becomes the number 6, is the guy who controls the tempo, where to pass, how to pass, and eventually, you know, sucks up so much air in the room that there is no institution. So you have to wish this political party well, because hopefully it works for us and helps us to build using the experience. But the truth is that the ODM party is fighting so much deep undercurrent, which is what it's been built on, the contradiction of running for office. So if you look at ODM running for office since 2007, all their manifestos, they're as different as night and day, all right? The stuff that they promised in 2007, they couldn't promise that stuff in 2022 because of how the contradiction of what has happened. It's sort of winning power and getting into office. So I think the battle now is, first is to find the true north, as you say, the ideological center of what the party is, and then hopefully survive that, and then, you know, go into an election, you know, with sort of like a party that can sustain itself, you know, either in coalition, you know, build a coalition, as they insist they have to be in government, or the party that creates government. Yeah. Whatever it is that they do, the fight now is that ideological center, because Raila was the ideology, and that is the undercurrent that they have to fight. Yeah. And I think you have to wish them well to see how that goes.
That would be interesting, because I feel, for me, in an additional citrus fruit for ODM would be to differentiate between the hood rats, who are very much making deals out of Raila Odinga's influence, and the value statute holders of ODM. I think what we're trying to see as Kenyans is, you know, can ODM stand now that Raila, as a true north, like we're saying, is not in the room anymore? Who exactly holds the ideologies and the true promises of ODM? Because ODM was formed from the trenches with the people. So who exactly is going to push forward with the message and the demands of the people? But also just to see what's happening between Winnie Odinga and the same members of ODM would be very interesting, because again, the resolve cannot be insults. It's not the time. ODM deserves and requires to create structures that create very good, stable significance to stabilize their proceedings as they move forward towards the elections. It's going to be an interesting time to see.
Indeed. And speaking of the by-elections, ODM is very much involved in the upcoming by-elections. Yeah. Just looking at the 6 constituencies first that will be having by-elections, Ugunja constituency was an ODM MP who's now a CS. Kasipul constituency was an ODM MP who died. Magarini constituency was a leader from the coast. Magarini Kilifi has for a long time been, you know, at ODM zone. Now, of course, we had the new party, PAR and others, and ODM has really strongly gone to campaign for this particular by-election. So even these by-elections are going to define what happens to ODM in 2027, right? Yeah. So it's all of that. It's a litmus. And so let's get into that conversation, and we'll get into our audience shortly and ask them. You can pick your card, and you're going to use it to vote. Will the upcoming by-elections next week, you know, be an indicator of what happens in 2027? Will it have an impact on 2027? Green, you say yes. No, if you think what happens next week has absolutely no bearing on 2027, you say no. Green, yes. Red, no. So
majority, no.
We've got several greens who say yes, and
there's some greens.
A sizable number who actually don't think that next week.
Put your up so that we
encourage.
Be bold. Be fearless.
All right. Yeah, it does look like a 50-50, right?
It does look like
that. Can we say that?
Roughly.
Are we being IBC? Yeah. Are we counting it correct? I mean, either way, let's start with, okay, this gentleman. Where's the mic? Just pass the mic to this gentleman, right? Your name very quickly. Why do you think this coming by elections is an indicator for you of what will happen in 2027?
So for him, is not.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Thank you so much. I'm Big Spender Faraj Wanga, digital marketer, global sale system companies. I feel it will be a great test first to the IBC that is new to the system. It will be a very big test to them because I think they have not prepared any election, or they have not carried out any election. Secondly, it will be a big test because the absence of, with much respect, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, ODM for the first time, it wants to go and try an election. For instance, we can use Malava. I've not seen them drum campaigning the way Baba has been there.
Yeah.
Even Oparanya is a shadow of himself. He has not gone there. The other day, in the part of the government, Dr. Boni Khalwale tried. Unfortunately, he bought the idea that DAP Kenya is the party of the day currently in Western. He's supporting Seth Panyako. In Kasipul, it will be now the biggest test because ODM has a member, but also the opponents are worthy opponents. I won't mention them because they haven't bought
airtime.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly the right one.
We should not mention them.
Finally,
yes.
I feel, and it's pro-government because you can see even the president trying to go down, whether even in the ward constituency, in the ward level, he's trying to go and campaign himself.
It is important.
And good thing is that Wamnyoya said, Mbeere North ikiteleweka. I don't know people from there. Plus, lastly, I feel in 2027 finally, some people in this room currently, they will be crying somewhere because they have been misusing Baba. Ulisema tunatuambia Ruto 2027. If you know you are not courageous enough, if you know you are not working, if you are not serving the people that elected you, trust me, Baba will not be there to carry your cross. Everyone will be judged accordingly, and it will be messy, noisy, and there will be casualties. Thank you so much.
Mana, you're going through the corners. Speak to people direct. Okay, it's okay. Any other person who thinks that, let me get two more, who thinks that these elections will mean something before I go to those who do nothing. This side, where's the microphone this side? Yes, lady in green. Your name and why is this election going to mean, this by-election going to mean something for you in 2027?
Hello, everyone. My name is Consolata Wawero. I'm a youth leader from Laikipia County. I believe that this will be a very big test for 2027. Why? Because this will be used as a test, as a scorecard for the Kenya Kwanza government and the UDA party to whether they have performed or not, whether they have at least fulfilled the manifestos, even if not full, but 3/4, what have they done? And of course, we're also looking at a situation where we're going to see if the Gen Zs will also come out to vote, because of course they have been insisting that they want change. So next election in Mbeere North, Kasipul, and other areas will be a litmus test to see if the Gen Zs truly mean what they say.
We need to see them in
yes,
this
we
election.
need to see them, yes. Thank
All
you.
right. One more, who thinks that, yes, please stand. Your name, where you're coming from, and why do you think these by-elections is a test of anything that will happen in 27?
Thank you very much. My name is Frederick Wanyuike, and I'm a youth leader from Nairobi. So I believe it will be a test for this reason. For example, in Kasipul, if the ODM wins, it won't mean much as it should, because in Kasipul, that's a ODM stronghold for Baba.
Right.
But when you look at Mbeere North, the result will signal on the political influence that the government has at the moment. And I can tell you for sure, it's not about the race of individuals, it's not about the race of manifestos of who will do better than the other, but it is a race to test the political influence between the UDA and the united opposition. Thank you very much.
Okay, very confident in your submissions. Now, those who are thinking that these by-elections mean absolutely nothing, it's people are going to vote and, you know, it has no bearing whatsoever with 27. Let me get some 2-3 submissions. Yes, please stand.
All right, thank you. My name is Tony Blair.
Tony Blair.
Tony Blair, I'm a youth leader. I'm the Secretary General for Nyatike Youths and Comrades Alliance, as well as student leader at Jomo Kenyatta University. I'm here standing courageously to negate the statement or the theme of the day that the by-elections shall not be an indicator for as a test for the 2027 presidential election or the election, the force of the wind.
Right.
I'm a statistics student, and what I want to do, I want to talk in a statistics language.
In English, please.
Indeed.
Would appreciate in English.
The statistics language is it is English indeed.
Hopefully.
I'm just going to try to help these people understand what we mean when we try to use this as a sample and help them know what a sample means. Remember, this election, they are not selected randomly to test for the 2027, but it is tested where the influence is based on the ethnicity of the local areas. It was so unfortunate, and much more people are not even much more focused. So I can give it a convenience sample, which is not for the entire population. And number two, I can say that there are some of the things that influence the 2027 election. Number one is the coalition building. And as at now, you know, when the opposition wins, for now they will waver and the internet or the social media will escalate this thing and they will feel like, oh, we have it. But when the time comes, coalitions will matter because the dynamics of the coalitions that will be formed must affect what the outcomes will be. Number two, we have the ethical arithmetics and the presidential candidate strength, the party unity and the regional alliances. That one matters most. And we get that all these things, most of them are in the western regions whereby there were some appointments after the Gen Z revolution. Right. And therefore, it is just in one region that we cannot use this to test for the 2027 election. Thank you.
Fair remarks. Pass the microphone to the lady on your right. Yeah. Your name, please, and...
Good evening. My name is Lynette Moke. I'm an entrepreneur and also I'm a treasurer at Woodley Jamhuri Market. The 27th by-election wouldn't determine 2027 election. One reason, the manifesto that we were given that our president is going to deliver, as an entrepreneur, I feel that the economy is bad. The economy, people are struggling. That way, people cannot decide that the leaders we have, we are not going to decide for 2027, and people are going to vote based on how they've seen it. And come 2027, the leaders who have been in the government, who are not working, they're going home completely. And we are going to have new leaders, more especially the ones who are coming. Their mind is so fresh. They can develop this country to be a good one. That is one thing I believe, because the leaders we have they are the worst we've seen in East and Central Africa.
Talk to them directly.
My MP is here for Kibra. My MP for Kibra is here. When you call him, he can't even pick your call. I'm sorry to say this on here. Yes. But one thing I can say, come 2027, we are going to rise. We are going to rise above.
Let's give her time. Let's give her time. Everyone will speak, including the MP.
Come please. 2027, all Kenyans are going to rise above tribal inclination, and we are going to vote people based on their points and not tribe. Thank you so much.
All right, so let's do this. Let's bring the microphone to the front. Let's give the MP the microphone. He's been mentioned adversely. The last time I saw you, you were angry, trending.
It's on.
You're apologizing on. Yes, please. I hope you got here correctly, using the correct traffic routes.
Be mindful that you can be settled.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Please make your submissions.
Just sit. I think it's a good opportunity, especially to interact with this kind of forum. and most of them are Gen Zs. But the only thing, one of my constituents is here. In fact, we have just taken a TikTok, and she has really shared it because of the popularity that she wants to ride on to become an MCA. And you judge a member of parliament on the promises that that member of parliament made. I can confidently say here that I am one of those MPs that have fulfilled the promises that we made to the people. If you go to my constituency now, I am doing the 26th road with Kera. And this can be confirmed. There is no single school in Kibra that has not been built. This one can be confirmed. There are schools there have built 24 classrooms. If you walk now in Kibra Drive, 4 kilometers, it's like Dubai, lighting. But you can go now. It is something you can confirm. Walk now, go to Kibra Drive. The REREC has done lighting. But
it's
you
like
can
Dubai.
Yeah, just
Singapore.
Just walk now, or call somebody on the ground right now. From the DC ground to 42, the lighting is amazing. 4 kilometers. We have done what we have done in Kibra as we are speaking now. I have given, I think, the highest bursary in this country, 60 million bursary to students and college students, so long as you are in Kibra. All those who are in my boarding schools, like Apail and Moi Girls, is 20,000, irrespective of where you come from. So sometimes we need to talk when you know the background and the things that the MPs are doing. Some of us are not about the courts, it's about service delivery to the people. And we did not come as MPs from nowhere. It is about what we have done to the society and what society feels about us. We didn't come because it's just about going to politics. We have a history of what we have done to Kenyan people. We can stand and say what the people of Kibra has achieved. But that was just because I was mentioned adversely.
Okay.
So I think because she comes from Kibra, I want to go with her. If she has not worked in Kibra, maybe she has not, she's in Woodley. Most part of Kibra is Sarangombe, Line Saba, Lindi, and Makina. Maybe these are the rich people in Kibra. When you see them, they don't walk where others, the downtrodden people walk. They have not gone to Katwekera. They don't know how people live there in Katwekera. So I wanted to have a walk. Then now you guys can come and talk one-on-one.
Yeah, you can take the Kibra issue. Okay, hand the microphone to the Senator, and I want to get to the theme, Senator. The question has been posed that these by-elections and the way they've played out, they are an indicator or a litmus test with what would happen in 2027. And, statistician has told us that it's not big enough sample, for us to make those, assumptions. But what do you say with what we've seen with the political climate at the moment, Senator?
Thanks, Jemu. And nice to see you all. I think this is the first time that I'm appearing in on Nation Studios, NTV Studios. The last time I was in NTV Studios, I was with Eric and your team in Fixing the Nation in the Morning. So because it's the first time that I'm appearing on these studios since I lost my leader and the leader of our country who contributed immensely, and we lost him in an untimely manner. Let me take this opportunity, first of all, to say sorry to you, to us as a country, to people who believed in Raila Amolo Odinga, to his followers, to the ODM fraternity, for that loss. It's not a small loss, it's a big loss that I think that has got tectonic forces across the country that will determine how our politics shifts going forward. It's not a small one. And I think that it is one that must be considered in these kind of conversations. I don't think that the magnitude of this is known yet, because it's just exactly about 1 month, 2 days since we lost Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And the repercussions will be there for a fact, but they are not known yet. That said, those kind of circumstances do define political environments where by-elections are held. So if you know, if you've been a follower of ODM, you remember that at a time when ODM was agitating for some serious change, we had some serious by-elections. If you remember the by-elections of Kenneth Marende, you remember the by-election of David Toh, by-election of Kipkalia Kones after they died in a plane crash, Lona Laboso. All of those people, when we had by-elections in those times, different environment at that time defined elections that were to subsequently follow. Despite the fact that PNU at that time also won some by-elections, they hugely influenced the general elections of that time. On these ones also, I would desire that perhaps they would influence. But I think that the circumstances that we have right now will be different.
What are the circumstances?
I've talked about one circumstance of Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. It's a big one. Yeah. The impact is not scientifically known yet. The turnout. I think that my sister here touched on the turnout of by-elections that we have seen over time in our country has always been lower than usual general election. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that this particular one, we are yet to know what will determine the turnout. One, of course, what has happened with Raila Amolo Odinga, but then two, the pretext of last year's protests. We don't know how this turnout is going to look like, and that turnout might define what then happens in the 2027 elections. But I think that even more than that, there is the broader question of coalitions. As I think one of the participants here shared about coalitions. I think these elections are happening so early when the coalitions are not defined as some elections that we have seen where coalitions were already well defined. These coalitions are going to really determine 2027 more than the current election. But the last one that I wanted to say is that there is a huge sense of awareness among the population in terms of performance of government. I think more young people, more people in the population are more aware about what government is supposed to do, what targets they're supposed to have, and this is going to really, really determine the election that you're going to have more than this by-election. So for instance, if you look at the government of the day, in the nuance of this Broadway arrangement, there are a number of things that the president has strived to achieve on economic angle that I think that, you know, I'm not the expert to help the government communicate some of the successes, but there are some major milestones that are being achieved but poorly communicated by the government, to the extent that if there was a serious shift in terms of communicating and highlighting some of the achievements that we see the government of the day having, you would have a big, big impact in the next election. Right. I mean, if you just give me 30 seconds or 45 seconds, I highlight some of them. The young people that we have in this room today enjoy things like digital opportunities. 24,000 worth of fiber optics has been established in the last 3 years. I don't think that somebody knows that. When you look at the TVET's arrangement that started when they came into being, the TVET's arrangement did not have proper devices for some of the young people to get digital skills. Right now, we have got about 20,000 that have been put into the marketplace, but nobody's communicating this. If you look at... Sorry.
So, you know, if there's a TVET in an area, the people of that area would see it. And they'd know there's a TVET, they'd be able to join it.
Yes.
The people who qualify to join that TVET will be applying to join the TVET. So, I mean, there's communication on one side, yes, at a national level of gloating and talking about what you've done, but also there's what people locally would see. But I just want us to take a break and then we'll come back and continue this conversation. Senator Ed, you kept saying this by-election could have, and what you're saying is there's no scientific evidence of what kind of impact it will have, but there'll be an impact.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll talk to MP Mukunji and also to the MCAs and also hear what they think about it. Is this also a referendum on the performance of government? Because sometimes what we see is that by-elections are considered like midterm elections in other countries. So it's also sort of a referendum on the popularity of the administration of the day. We are taking a break. We'll come back. We'll continue this conversation. And we're asking ourselves, next week we have by-elections in several parts of this country. Will those by-elections be a test for what's expected to happen in the 2027 general election? We'll be back in a moment. This is The Last Word.
This is The Last Word.
Welcome back. This is The Last Word. We're here and having a conversation around the upcoming by-elections. The question tonight, will the upcoming by-elections be a test for what is expected to happen in the 2027 general election? Remember, on the 27th of November, that's next week, we have by-elections in several areas of this country, several wards and 6 constituencies. We have seen a lot of conversation around it. What does it mean? As we started in the first part of this, we asked our live audience here what they thought, and it's almost half. Half feel that it's going to have an impact, and almost the other half is feeling, this is just a by-election. The general election is the main thing. It cannot be impacted. We've heard from Senator Eddie Oketch and from MP Peter Oraro. Now we're going to have Gitonga Mukunji, who's the MP for Manyata constituency in Embu, and Embu is the county that has a by-election, one of the counties that have a by-election in Mbeere North. He's one of those who's very, very active in that. And then we'll also hear from Kiruga Doku, who's the chair of the UDA MCA's caucus. MP, you are participating in this by-election, and you're priming it like it's a do-or-die kind of contest in Mbeere North. Is it going to have an impact in 2027?
Thank you. Thank you, Latif, first, and I appreciate the opportunity to engage and have a chance to engage with these young people. I'm happy to see how brave and outright they are when it comes to leadership. For those who don't know me very well, my name is Gitonga Mukunji. I'm the Member of Parliament for Manyata, but I'm also the Chairman, Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association, an organization that brings together young members of parliament. I am very active on the ground in Mbeere North. Let me first say that many of these by-elections are actually government-inflicted by-elections. They all come from some appointment of a member of parliament to another position. That means it is government that has brought in these by-elections. I also want to say that they are very expensive. A lot of resources is going into them. And it's also good to be thinking about when somebody has gotten a contract of 5 years as a member of parliament or as an MCA, and he is supposed to serve, the by-elections and their costs, because we normally have quite expensive elections, why we should always look for somebody who is already seated in a seat instead of looking for new people to serve those positions. But I'll go directly to Mbeere North elections because I'm quite involved in those. They mean a lot for various people. Elections in Mbeere North and any other constituency, some people have said that it's a do or die because they want either they have been given mandate to deliver. I know many of you interacted with a clip of the chairman UDA saying that if you don't elect our candidate, I'm going to be thrown out. So that is an automatic repercussion that some people might lose their relevance if these by-elections go the other way. Same thing with CS, Ruku, and the current deputy president. Many of them have come out in Mbeere North to say that, please, if you don't elect this person, we are going to be chased out. And maybe that is also what it means for them. For people of Mbeere North, they have stayed without a member of parliament for close to now a year. And I'm just a neighbor in that county. I've been actively acting as a member of parliament of that place. I have been very vocal on the issues of Mogoka when one of their crops was being burnt. I've been looking on what has happened for their project in the National Assembly. For people of Mbeere North, they are looking for somebody who can serve them. Not serve the president, not serve anybody else. They are looking for a chance to get somebody who can stand with their culture, who can stand with who they are, and who cannot be a sellout to any other bidder. For me, as a member of parliament in Manyata and a leader in Embu, we are also looking to change the narrative of the National Assembly. The fact that National Assembly has been seen as a place that is not representative of Kenyans. I'm looking for companionship for a member of parliament and others from other constituencies so that we can stand strong whenever we are needed to. And it is also a test for IEBC. And I'm happy one of our sisters here has mentioned it clearly. This is the election that is going to give us confidence or give us no confidence with the current IEBC. It is also going to determine a lot. And let me say that in the political lineups that we have nationally, this election means a lot. We have the united opposition. What they want to do is to prove that this government is one term. And they are pushing to the limit to confirm that this government is one term. And to the government side, they are not sparing a coin. And I'm a witness of this. Yesterday, the deputy president was sent to Mbeere North, and he was told never to come out of that place. Today, there was movement around, and people are very happy to enjoy the money that they are being given, I don't know, from their coffers. And now the rate has gone up. There is now a new rate of the money, and today I heard everybody's getting 500. Over 1,000, 2,000 people in various places. So it means a lot to many things. So but I would say that in 2022, let me say this. In 2027, of course, whatever happens in these by-elections is going to give a perspective of what is going to happen in 2027. And it's also a test, because as I've said, many of these by-elections have just been brought about by the president himself. He is trying to do his tests to see if he has any influence anywhere else.
Okay.
And I believe those are the main. But also, it's good to say that, because I've seen very vibrant young people here. In the IEBC portal, I've seen only 20,000 young people or 20,000 new registered voters. It also would also be something that we think about while we are talking about these by-elections. People should come out, register, and ensure that we have people to vote and also people to be voted for. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gitonga. Just a point of correction here. There are 6 by-elections, constituency by-elections, and only 2 of those are occasioned by appointments of the MP into the cabinet. That's Ugunja and Mbeere North. The other one, Malava, occasioned by death. Kasipul, death. Balisa, death. Magarini constituency, election petition. Baringo County Senate, death. 16 wards as well, not appointment. So it's not that most of these by-elections are occasioned by the president appointing people. It's only 2.
I was speaking specifically of Mbeere North.
Okay. Yes. Oh, you said most. So most of Mbeere North. Thank you. Look, what is it that the MCA's caucus thinks? I know you're dressed completely like, you're representing the UDA MCA caucus, even in the colors. But is this a test on UDA's popularity on the ground with these by-elections?
Thank you very much. My name is Kiruga Dhuku. I'm an MCA in Nyeri County, in Chiga Ward. I'm also the chair of the UDA MCA caucus. And by dint of this, I'm a member of the UDA NEC. And I think I want to agree. To a certain extent, these by-elections will be a harbinger of what is about to happen in 2027. But most importantly, for example, in a place like Beere, Beere is giving a very clear picture. Already there is a certain win that has been occasioned by the kind of campaigns we have seen in Beere. And Beere is serving as an example of the kind of campaigns we should have. Because I've been there to campaign for our party's candidate. I'm also going back there tomorrow to continue on the same mission. And I believe our UDA candidate is actually winning next week. And the most admirable part of these campaigns is the peaceful nature of the Beere people. We come from a region that produced President Mwai Kibaki, who was actually my MP. And President Kibaki used to urge people to be politically tolerant of others. It's good because you have noted here what the opposition doing is budding untruths. You've just heard my brother from the upper House of Parliament telling us here most of these by-elections have been occasioned by the president. We have some kind of politics whereby some politicians believe dirtifying the name of the president, dirtifying the name of the government is an achievement, which it is not. As a party and as a member of NEC, we except for those areas where we have left for broad-based candidates, which again is a very good thing because we are bringing Kenyans together. You can call us back here after these by-elections. What I can predict is that UDA will win a majority of these seats, and through our brothers and sisters in the broad-based, arrangement, we shall even have quite a big number of wins. And yesterday, I was with the Agriculture Minister, the Honorable Mutahi Kagwe in Nyeri. Had come there to launch some dairy milk coolants they were being given to farmers. The other day, we were with the Water Minister in my own ward, following up on an irrigation project. So what we are saying, and the reason why we are even campaigning so hard in a place like Beere, it's because we want to disabuse this notion that the government has abandoned the people of Mount Kenya. There is no such a policy that exists within the UDA party. And I can say this confidently as a member of the party's NEC. We are pursuing the promises we gave to Kenyans and led by our party leader and the deputy party leader. But of course, leading a government is no walk in the park. So we accept their challenges, but we are doing our best. Even Mzee Kibaki, my former MP and president, he didn't crack it during the first term. In fact, I can confirm to you here, in our place, If Mzee Kibaki had gone just for one term, all those roads you hear about in our area, they would just have been a dream. But when he went for 2 terms, as we hope the current president will just go for 2 terms, he did a lot of things. And, you know, it's good for us as a country to be tolerant towards each other. Of course, I want to say sorry to my brother here because our candidate is winning in Bere, despite their spirited attempts.
Let me
I
ask
thank
you.
you. Yes, please.
If UDA loses, especially in the by-election in Bere North, what does that mean about UDA in Mount Kenya and Ruto's chances in Mount Kenya?
Okay, you know, as a Democrat, you know we are doing our best as a party, and our belief is that we are winning.
Okay.
But I've told you already, one of the wins we have got in a place like Beere is that we have people who are genuinely interested in hearing what our party has to offer.
Yes,
and remember...
Kiruga, my question.
Yes.
If the UDA candidate does not win in Bere North next week, what would that mean to UDA and to the president in Mount Kenya?
Let me say this. You know, we crossed that bridge when we reach it, but yes, of course we are winning it. So I would rather say we cross the bridge when we reach it. But as of now, those people who used to say people cannot attend UDA's meeting in Mount Kenya region, that notion has been disabused. So that's already a win.
Senator wants to respond.
Before you get the mics,
yes.
You will respond.
Yes. You want to ask me?
Yes, I want to ask you.
Okay, lady.
You are sure that UDA is going to win, right? All the very best. How certain are you that the people of Kenya, leave alone Bere North, will trust UDA again after June 2024 last year?
Like I said, leadership has its own challenges. Leading a country is not a walk in the park.
Leading the country is different from killing young people in the streets.
I agree, but what I'm saying is this. We are doing our best, led by our party leader, led by the president. So what I will say is this. We will work all the way as constitutionally mandated by our constitution. Then, of course, we will leave it to God and Kenyan voters to decide our fate. But what I can say is we are giving it our best. We are pursuing the implementation of our manifesto to the fullest. We may make one or few missteps here and there, but we are very determined to deliver what we delivered in our manifesto to the Kenyan people.
Okay, thanks. 1 minute response, then I come this side. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
As you respond, Mheshimiwa, that question is, if UDA loses, what does it mean to the president in Mount Kenya? Same thing applies. If UDA wins, what does that mean to DCP and the united opposition in Mount Kenya?
Well, I just wanted to confirm that UDA cannot win Bere North. It can never win. And I come from Membu, I can say that confidently. We are the only place that was the first to tell off the president when he came to tell us about how SHA is working and it is not working. We were the first one to say that instead of you putting money in houses that are just being given around in State House, we need water and roads. We clearly put that.
The tests of all that messaging is next week.
It is next week.
And I am asking...
And I didn't want even to preempt it.
The question
is only that he was saying they are winning, and he comes from Nyeri. I had to say that Embu,
should the people of
I'm near
Bere
that
North,
place.
Should the people of Bere North elect the UDA candidate,
what
will that mean to you in DCP and the United Opposition?
Well, I believe we should just wait for the election in 27. Why I'm saying that is because right now, by all the polls that have been done and genuine polls that I've looked at, we are doing very well as a united opposition. And I have been on the ground, interacted with the voters. The people you see attending meetings purported to be for UDA, they are looking for money. They are going there because they know these guys are loaded. They have broken the bank. They want to ensure that they have bought voters, but immediately they leave. They shout one time and continue with their work.
All right, let's bring the microphone. Where's the microphone this side? Where's the microphone? Please bring it forward. You'll speak, bring it forward. Give this gentleman. Yes.
I just want to say something. Your opening remarks, you guys talk about ODM. And I want to reiterate that ODM party, most of the people doesn't know or doesn't understand how ODM party works. ODM party works like a Roman Catholic, where we have structures. ODM party, Raila Odinga was only our pope in that party. Then there is cardinals, there is bishops, there is priests, then we have altar boys. So in ODM party, we have only lost the pope. And the cardinal sat very quickly and they nominated another pope in the name of Dr. Oburu Odinga, our youth leader, who will steer party into the future. So ODM will not die the way people think. It is just the sibling rivalry. Everybody wants to fit in the shoes of Raila Odinga, which they are not going to fit. And that's the reason as to why we are saying we are okay with Dr. Oburu Odinga. Then I'm listening to talks here, and you wonder how people were elected into parliament. If a member of parliament like Honorable Gitonga can tell you that the president has brought by election, then you fail to wonder. If a member of parliament can speak and tell you that it is only the president that has brought this, he doesn't understand what the law dictates. He's the one who has even told us here that he is acting for that constituency, Mbere. Now, if he is acting for that constituency, do you know, if you are in a good society, then the state can be sued for delaying that by-election. And you are in a parliament, you are sitting in a parliament making laws, and here you are telling us it is the president. And you understand very well the repercussion, the outcome and the reason as to why Mbere North has not had their member of parliament. Boss, I want to tell your constituent to impeach you with immediate effect because you don't know what you are doing. You don't know exactly what you are doing. This is a guy who should not even come back to parliament in the next election. Then let me go back to the topic of the day, because it seems like we are not talking about the topic that brought us here. You see, a by-election, I can equate it to choir in a church. It is just a small thing that cannot determine the service in a church. It is only something that is there to entertain the congregants. By-election is being determined by a lot of things. There will be low voter turnout, there will be protest votes, and the main key that will play in a by-election is what we call local politics. So, like you see, the guy is just saying, because Ruto, the president, is coming from Rift Valley, so he cannot win a seat in their constituent because that person is a UDA person. You see, we need to be realistic. A by-election cannot be a good determinant for 2027 election. We have seen it. ODM has been in opposition for long. We have won more by-elections, but when it comes to real election, our votes will be stolen, right? So you cannot just say here that a by-election can determine general election. There is a lot of factors that will come to play. Like when we are going for a general election, there will be coalitions And these coalitions will determine who will win because of the candidate that they will bring. Like, my friend here cannot tell me.
Your final point.
My final point.
Yes.
My friend here cannot tell me that Rigathi Gachagua can be the president of this nation. That guy is a tribalist who cannot lead. And I want to tell him, once impeached, in the parliament that he doesn't know, once impeached, you cannot vie in any position in this country, not unless you go to China. Thank you.
All right, so there's a bit of inaccuracy. I'll come to you to respond. So in a minute or less, we're trying to get to the final point here. This by-election, this excess that we're going through, if, UDA wins most seats, does it mean there's confidence in the president and his work? And if it happens on the other side, the opposition, another party's coalition win more seats, does it mean that it's a referendum of sort against the government of the day? We need to come to some reasoned conclusions.
I think today I'm really enjoying the brilliance of young men here. They are giving us they have good minds, and they know what politics is in this country. I think some of the reasons that, politics sometimes is about perception. So maybe if we say the UDA wins, then they will create a perception that they are still a popular party. If the opposition also win, it will also create a position that some interest has been lost in the ruling party. But what we are saying, like in Mbere, if the UDA loses, it means that candidate is weak. My friend was telling me here, that question is very direct. If a candidate loses, then that candidate is a weak candidate. So, but what we are saying is that...
not the party.
Is the candidate. So, so what we are saying here is that, there have been a bit of chest thumping, a lot of bragging rights, and some people go to these elections because of bragging rights. And if they lose that election, those bragging rights will diminish and will disappear. I am seeing that the DCP in Mbere, in fact, the former MP was a very close friend of mine. Before there was broad-based, we used to debate with him in NTV and K24 almost every week. We were in opposite sides. He was advancing the merits of UDA, although he was not even in UDA, and I was advancing the merits of ODM, because ODM is built on social justice, democracy. The pillars of ODM are well known, and that is why we have been winning in all the 4 elections in this country. And we have always been denied those elections by the government. But these elections, actually, they are like rehearsals, but they will not determine the 2027.
Okay.
Elections change even with the day. Nobody knew that Raila will ever die. Before Raila's death, people had a different opinion. After his death, the political nature of this country has just drastically changed.
So what has happened to Raila's death with Kasipul, Kabondo, and Ugunza? What is the dynamic? Give me some insight. What has changed?
Of course, ODM was Raila and Raila was ODM. Just by a single word, and he says, he carries your hand like this, you would be the MP. And that is the truth in this country. And not just the ODM. He has carried the hands of the presidents. If he didn't carry the hand of President Uhuru Kenyatta because of handshake, he would not have done his 2 terms. If he never went and worked with Moi during that time, KANU would have collapsed. So he's not just carrying the hands of ODM, he even carries the hands of presidents.
Okay.
So he was a different breed of person. So we are saying that in politics, things can change within 1 week. So this is a rehearsal, but I believe it will not determine the 2027 election. But now that I have this mic, I must also say that I like the youths because they give you the impetus to work. And my success as an MP for the last 3 years is because myself, I work with the youths of my constituency. fortunately, I've seen some here, like this one. He comes from my constituency. And we'll give you a testimony of how we empower the youths in Kibra, how we work with them closely, and what we have done to them. We are the only constituency in this country now that built a TVET from NGCDF, not from government.
Peter, that's not the truth.
And what we are... Okay. Now let's go to the point why we are here.
Point.
When we get to
I think we got your point.
Okay.
And your point was that this by-election is just a rehearsal. It will not have direct impact on the election.
Yes.
Point made. Let's hear from the senator, because I know the youth want to now engage as well. Senator, you wanted to just react to that?
You need to listen to the youth. So let's give your remarks, then we go to the youth, then we'll come back. Yes.
Yeah, I think I would rather listen to young people more because I think that there are more brilliant ideas than sometimes us who are used to mics. But I think just a moment. I think what I wanted to just stress, Eric, voter bribery is a serious offense in this country. If my brother Honorable Mkunji has got factual data on people being bribed, as he's saying, during voting, I'm disappointed that he hasn't launched it and pointed towards those people who are giving people money. It would be important, if he's courageous, to indicate that to the relevant authorities so that action can be taken. Number two, I would want to say that these elections are important. But with regards to going into 2027, there are other factors that are equally very important that have got bigger weights towards 2027 elections than just these elections. I've given you some examples, and I wanted to tell you that in the last 2 months, if you looked at our universities, they were muted because of funding problems to lecturers. Students, on the other hand, were being given help, but they're not sent home. And they're using these monies in the universities. They have just resumed classes now. They have eaten all the money. There is no money for them. If the government responds by making sure that there's stability in universities, it will influence the election. As we're speaking right now, Eric, the Met has indicated that we might end up having drought just as big as when we started in 2023, to the extent that we have got surplus of maize in Kitale and other places. If you are to buy those maize now as a government and make sure that you put them in our national stores, so that when next year we've got short rains and we're going to face serious drought that will lead to anger, and then you subsidize them at that time, it will determine the future of the elections. We have got issues of coffee, stabilizing the retail price of coffee in the mountain region, to the extent that even tea is affected, sugarcane is affected. These are large tickets that if there is proper government policy and intervention, they will influence the election more than this by-election. Lastly, there is a document that has been established in the broad-based government, because I'm answering this in the context that I think Zara asked, if people died last year, why should that not matter in the next election? I think that the goodwill of broad-based government...
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
They didn't die, they were killed.
They were killed, yeah. Some were killed, and some also just died because of other factors.
In the protests?
No, in the protests, yes. By the way, I'm talking as somebody who comes from a region where in 1969 people were killed in my region, 1992 people were killed in my region, 2007 people were killed in my region. But I was saying something here.
No.
The reason why we have stability.
Senator,
yes.
I'm interested in that factor.
Yes.
This is important. People were killed in the protests.
Yes.
And died.
Yes.
What is that died? How did they just die?
First of all, there are people who are killed.
Yeah.
And we cannot run away from that.
Yeah.
And then there are other people who also died because of other factors in the course of protests.
Example of the factors?
We saw in the street sometimes people were knocked by vehicles. Okay?
Which vehicles?
I'm not trying. I know where this is going because it's like you're trivializing. It's like you're trivializing other deaths.
It's important.
Yes.
Right. And you walked into it.
Yes.
It's important.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
In June 2024.
Yes.
June 25 and July.
Yes.
People were killed in the protest, or people died in the protest.
People were killed in the protest.
Okay.
Okay. But there are people who also died in the course of that protest, right? For instance, I want to give you an example. 2023, when we went through protests, I was in Azimio protest. Do you know that there were groups of people from factions from different places that fought among themselves that ended up sustaining injury and dying without the police? Those are just equally as important, and that's why I was getting you back to. Don't just account for deaths that came with the police brutality. Account for all deaths that happened, so that when the document, like what I was talking about, the document of Azimio that talks about compensation for people who died in the protest, we want compensation to happen to anybody who died during that protest. If you are killed by police, you must be compensated. But if you are also killed by gangs that were hired by other people to target people during protest, that also must be accounted for. That's, I think, the point that I'm trying to make. But the point is, the broad-based document that defines this relationship or the 10-point agenda,
right.
There are a number of important issues that, if they are achieved in the context of stability and steady environment that we desire to bring from the protest of last year, if people are committed in government and in the broad-based side of the opposition, if people are committed to making sure that those elements are achieved, they will have impact in the election 2027.
Kenyans, let's breathe here.
Yes.
Just before you give out the mic, and please, just 30 seconds.
Yes.
The protests led to the broad-based government alignment, right?
Yes.
What has the broad-based government achieved ever since?
In terms of the 10-point agenda?
Just the 10-point agenda.
Okay. The one that is very close to my heart, because I have seen a number of people die and our relatives die, is an attempt to be able to put a framework for compensating the people who lost lives.
Was compensation at the 10 points? No, it was.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes, it was in the 10-point agenda.
Yes.
It has not been achieved fully because of the court battles that we have had, but the committee has been formed, and I hope that people will be compensated. Then there are a number of reforms that were also indicated in the broad-based agenda that have been achieved.
Just give me a number, sir, so that Kenyans can continue. Just a number.
Of the broad-based.
Just out of the 10, how many?
Yes, I'm saying out of 10, of the 10,
yes.
In my own view,
yes.
Stability has been achieved, and a steady environment to be able to run business and government. That has been achieved. I can put it at 30%.
Okay.
Which means...
All right, let's get to that side of the room. Okay.
Yeah, with 30%.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Okay. Yes, and I'm going to give now a minute each because I want to come back. So a minute each. So let's start with you. We'll come. We'll get a chance.
Thank you so much. I'm Alex Karoki, a youth leader from Laikipia County and Mount Kenya University. I'm actually very disappointed to share this platform with some leaders here, elected leaders to be precise, because these people are giving us rumors, true good rumors about the government. And they are trying to evade from the core question that have been asked. Let me tell you, apart from of Mukonji here, my brother who is seated next to me, the other leaders you have tried to evade.
Put your microphone close.
You have tried to evade from the actual question. One of our leaders here have said from Kibra, I think, that Kibra roads look like Dubai. I think I will visit Kibra and you will show me the roads that look like Dubai. Next point. You said that Kibra has, I think, the lights that look like Singapore. I think, again, after this show, we are going with you to Kibra to see the Singapore in Kibra. Next question. Last question. Excuse me. No, I'm done with that. To my senator, To my senator guest there, you said about the 2025 June. I think sharing such a platform with these leaders adds agitation to youths more than the way we were. Because let me tell you, my brother senator, and actually I want to become a senator, but it's a disappointment. In 2027, I want to become a senator, but it's a disappointment to see that people are giving us rumors. Let me tell you, June 25th, the year 2024, again, June 25, the year 2025, I was right saying that youths, young people were killed. Young people, death minus death is death. They were killed, abducted, arrested because of fighting for their rights. Okay? Higher. To the next question, I think now I'm going to answer you people. Before I'm done with that question, to my leaders here, to my fellow leader here, from UDA, let me tell you one thing. One thing, you spoke about the elections, and that question's okay. It comes back to you then, that what happens if the Mbeere North UDA candidate loses the election? Let me tell you. I want to tell you one thing that Rigathi Gachagua told Honorable Raila Odinga when they were in opposition, that the people who voted for the government in the year 2022 are the same people that we are going to meet in the year 2027. The current elections that will be held next week, the people who will vote, they're the same people who will vote next year but one, and the same results that will show next week, they are a replica of what will happen there in the election. Let me tell you. All right. Let me tell you. I want to give him one. I want to give him one assignment. Yes. Go and listen to the ground. Skiza ground, mtu wangu. The ground has said very well that in Mbeere North, I'm not speaking about the other constituencies. I am only.
That's fine. Mbeere is fine.
Go and listen to the ground, and the leader who will be voted in is the person who is popular to the people, not popular to the government. Okay. Then one leader here, before I end my conversation, there is another leader here who spoke about impeaching my brother here, who is an MP, because I don't know because of what. Let me tell you, I think they are the people who should be impeached because they are giving us rumors that are very different with what is happening in the ground. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hand the microphone to the lady hand the microphone to the lady. Hand the hands has been on. You've spoken, please. All right?
Yes, so to the question whether the by-elections is a mirror of what is going to happen in 2027. The big question here we are asking is which party are people going to elect? But whether people choose UDA or they choose DCP or they choose ODM, the real question should be what will happen to those people? Nothing. Nothing. And if you look in the room, if we are going to go into elections emotional as we are, the same way we were in 2022, the elections will repeat themselves and we will see a replica of what we have seen before. So we had rather put emotions aside and decide to vote with our logic, okay? All right. Then another thing is that when it comes to the member of Parliament Migori, he's saying that the youths have experienced, the youths have experienced TVETs and all these fiber connections. Which youth? Which youth? Because we don't even know of these connections. And one thing I can tell you, yes, I am. Okay. And I can tell you for sure, all these Ajira centers that you people have put up in the name of helping the youth, they are a looting scheme. I can say that without fear or favor because I have an Ajira center manager who is not from my area and I am in that area. Yet I am very active and I cannot get into that position because it's a political position. Yet it's supposed to be administrative and youth empowered. Okay. So they are lying and all these are just schemes. They're just vehicles to loot our money.
That's feedback. Yes. Your name? Very quickly. Yes.
Thank you. My name is John Delap. I'm a student of computer science. I come from Migori County. Okay.
Address your senator.
I want to address my senator. Okay, thank you. My senator is here with me.
Yes.
And I'm glad. Okay. Yeah. So there was a question that was raised, and maybe my answer is yes, with these points. Point number one, the gauge of political parties. From here, we will be, out of that election, we'll be at a point of knowing whether our political parties, they have got strength to win various elections in those various constituencies. Another point, we want to also to know the potential of a given candidate.
Okay.
We'll be at a point of knowing whether a given candidate in Kasipul, be it Ongondo, the son of Ongondo Were, or maybe Aroko, we will be at a point of knowing the potential. Okay, if we can also remember on that, when Baba was still alive, during the burial funeral of Ongondo Were, he mentioned that, and he really stressed on that Ongondo Were will continue. And therefore, we'll be at a point of knowing whether the words of Baba will be in reality, will come to reality.
Okay.
Okay, when I'm wrapping up, I can say that adding on the point that my senator said, it is true that the cyber security, it is a beneficial to us, we as youths, you see. In my county, I want to ask my sister there, which TVET or which institution does it come from, where there is no Wi-Fi or where there is no, maybe, the computers.
Okay.
And I can also add on the, when there could be a by-election in MP, in MP position, I could say that MP for Nyatike, Tom Odege, would have won the election because he has been disbursing bursaries.
Pass the microphone, all right? You've spoken. Give the gentleman. Yeah, you've spoken. Sit down. Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
My name is Babu Balia. I come from Vihiga. So, hii mambo ya watu kushikwa mkono tuwapigie kura, sioni kama tutafanya hivyo. Because hawa watu wanatumesi sana. We are not safe in this government, by the way. So now we need mtu anaweza vote no. If we need to vote no. Si mtu ana vote yes because of government. Thank you.
All right. Yes. Quick comments like this one so that I can take 3 more. Okay? Yes. Yes, please speak.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Sesko. I'm a student at Cooperative University. I'm a youth leader for DNA Party. I'm actually disappointed that a full senator atasema kuna free TVET, iTVET na free Wi-Fi. Ni wapi huko? Tuko Kenya gani? iTVET actually the most expensive here in Kenya. If you go to Cooperative University, the iTVET there, it's a public university, but the iTVET student pay more than the student who are taking degree. So I don't think tunaketi hapa kusema uongo. One thing, another thing. By elections zenye zina happen, they're not going to reflect anything right now because these people are using money. I'm very frustrated that we are talking about political parties here. Atufai kwa tunaongea. ODM is so confused, looking from these 2 gentlemen here from the ODM. One of them is saying that ODM was Raila, and Raila was ODM. And the other one is saying that ODM has structures. Now I'm wondering, now the structures were the ODM, were Raila, ama ODM is the structure. They are so confused. Okay. And another thing, 2027, Gen Zs atutafuata stories are political parties.
All right.
6.3 million voters are expected to register. Perfect. Statistics that size, they should not lie to you.
Okay.
Atuja register because you can IBC offices, ni political parties zimepatiana wase huko wakuwe ma agent. So, sahi hata line ukipanga ni kubwa, unakuwa frustrated. Yeah. We are waiting for the mass registration, ndio tutokee. 6.3 voters.
That's a very good point.
Kenya.
That's a very good point. The ladies at the back, please, where are the microphones? Answer the microphones. Give the microphone to the lady at the back, please stand. The microphone to the back, take it to the back. Stand. Lady at the back. Yes.
Hello, I'm Alima Nanyama. I'm a student leader. And well, when you're talking about whether the coming by-elections that will be held in the next week, the effect they'll have in the 2027 general elections, well, my view and based on how Kenya is currently, is that they don't really have that much say to it because as it seems, the general elections are more national. Well, the elections you're talking about now are more, we have the local people, ile kusikiza mnani ameshika ground fiti. And then we also have the issue of most people are not really mobilized for the for these elections.
All right, thank you. Where's the microphone this side? Sit down first until I select you. All right? Microphone to the back. I'll come to you. Give the ladies. Let the ladies speak first. Yes? All right. Bring the microphone to the lady here on the front. And yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Imali Brenda. And to the question you asked, if the by-elections will actually affect the 2027 elections, that's a yes, because they act as a mini test to see the party that will win will actually affect the voters, let's say the undecided voters. So that means it's actually going to affect it. And to our leaders, what you say about youth empowerment is so much demanding, because you just say youth empowerment because that's what the Gen Zs want. But actually to the ground, you don't actualize it and you don't execute what you say. You just say it so that you can bring out the public interest and then serve your interest when you get there, forgetting the youth empowerment scheme that you're actually bringing it up. I actually agree with my fellow who says that we will be very much agitated with how we are going to vote, because actually we are going to vote with emotions. You're going to vote no because we feel that you want us to do what you just say, but you don't execute it.
All right. Okay.
Juliet Nyabuto. So I've noticed with the political figures...
You have to put your microphone next to your mouth.
Sorry.
Otherwise you can
I've noticed with the political figures around from different political parties, there is one question we are not asking. What structures do your party have for the youth? For myself, I'll speak on behalf of the Jubilee Party. We have a very good structure that pushes for the youth. Yes, it does. Yes, Jubilee has restructured. It has restructured, and I can say I'll say I'm part of the Youth League, and there are very good structures that do push for us. That aside,
allow her to make a point. Allow her to make a point, please.
That aside, I'll also speak on. I'll not speak on behalf. I'll ask the people from ODM. ODM right now, mnacheza siasa ya inheritance. We see with the party leader. We also see with Kasipul. Like, what structures are you putting? As a young person, I can't join ODM because I feel like kama mimi si mtoto wa mtu, if I don't belong to a certain social class, if I don't know anyone, then my voices or my opinions cannot be heard. But I'd rather join Jubilee Party where they are restructuring and push for myself. So yes.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I hope Jubilee have listened to you. I really, you've done a good job. Okay, hang on. I'm giving you 30 seconds, and then I need to come to my panelist and finish it off, right?
Yes, thank you.
And I hope you have something interesting to say.
Yeah, I'm Patrick. My field of specialization is law. I think let me summarize everything that has been said. First, let me say that these by-elections are a showdown of which political party is more stronger than the other. But come 2027, we shall be electing based on the ideas and what quality of leaders do we want. Because in 2022, we elected leaders, but there is no representation that we are seeing concerning the people in the parliament. Thank you.
Please hand the microphone to the front. I need this microphone to the front, please. Bring it to the front, right? Both sides, okay? Senator, 30 seconds. You've been told...
Just give me 1 minute, because...
1 minute. And you've been told that all the things you're saying, about TVETs, and, they're not working.
Yeah,
this is direct feedback from...
That's what I wanted to start with first. First of all, I did not say, my brother, that there is free Wi-Fi. I said that there is connectivity by cyber network of 24,000 kilometers. I said that. I also said that we have got 2,700 TVS institutions in the country as we speak right now. We have got 1,200 VC vocational training institutions. We have got 1,300 TV seats, and we've got 11 national polytechnics. In all those polytechnics, we have got Wi-Fi access hotspots area of 1,494. This is not propaganda, this is fact. And the devices that are connecting these places are 20,000. Go and check your facts and you'll see them. I didn't say they're free. I just said that effort has been made to digitally connect these institutions of Ireland. And the second thing that I said, and I still insist on, Mark,
as your final remarks.
Yeah, this is my final remarks.
Yes.
Because it's something dear to my heart.
Yes.
In elections, I've lost 4 of my relatives, very close to me. 3 I lost because they were dying. For instance, one that I lost on 25th died because of fainting and suffocation in the protest. Okay? There are some that I lost because they found themselves fighting in gangs on the streets. And then there is one that I lost called Omina, who was shot by the police in Uruma. When their parents reach out to me, and there's a compensation committee that's being put in place, I feel it would be unfair to only account for those who are shot by the police. And that's why I was saying that when these things happen, it is important to account for everyone who was affected, those who were killed by the police and those who died in the course of struggle, whether they died by fainting or by being hit by a car in the frenzy. It is important that all of them are taken care of. I think that would just be fair because those people also face pain. That's what I wanted to emphasize on.
All right. 30 seconds.
Thank you. One, I want to say that as politicians, myself, we love the youths.
First, have you apologized for your viral video first?
Yeah.
Did you ever apologize for your viral video?
You know, in politics, we say there are moments, and you cannot resurrect a dead case. Here, you want me to resurrect a dead case, which was dealt with effectively by government agencies. That is why I'm here. So don't worry. That is not
you love young people. Okay.
Yeah.
Your final remarks?
I love young people.
Yes.
And that is why I agreed today to come and interact with the young people. If you come to my office, I think the oldest is 36. All the others have given a chance to the youths to work. We have, what I do in my constituency, I work with private partnership. My TVET, even the computers are not from the government. We have worked with the private partners and developed the TVET. We have, and they have graduated and they have been employed at EPZ, and they are all youths.
Okay.
So, and that is our strength as a country. We should work with the youth everywhere, every time, because they bring sanity to the society. They have progressive minds. And when they see us, some of us, let us not have a collective term that all the MPs are bad MPs. They are MPs who serve the people of this country. We give our services to the people of this country. And I want, because I was challenged, that I am saying that I have lighting. I want to bet with that person here that if we get those lights, then we bet. Because this is a public TV, and I don't want rumors, as they are saying. May I speak for the truth, because my service is for the people of Kenya.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Where is the microphone on this side? Please bring it forward. Let's start with the UDA. You've refused to answer this question, and I have 30 seconds for you. If these elections end and the Mbeere seat has gone to the opposition, all right, does that mean UDA has lost its relevance? And if you win, does it mean that you have the mountain? It's a very straight question.
Thank you. Now, allow me, before I answer the question, to congratulate these young people. You know, I became a Democratic Party official at the age of 19 years. So whether I agree with them or not, I really respect the vibrancy in them. Then let me answer this way. You know, as a politician or as a leader, if you go out there projecting defeats, just go back home and sleep. We are not going to Mbeere and to everywhere we have fielded our candidates to lose. We are going for wins. God forbid, if the opposite happens, we deal with it then. But what I can say is that already, like I said, we have seen already as a party, we are counting on a great win in Mbeere via the fact that the people there are coming in large numbers to listen to our policies and our message. Forget about those people saying it's about money. No, you know, you could see they are even telling you here, the president has caused by elections, which you know it is not true. So, the issue is, we are going for wins, And if we win in Beele, as we are hopeful we shall, this will be a very clear message that the people of Mount Kenya region are ready to embrace and work with the leadership that protects development for them. And they are ready to ignore all this Urabaru and these rigmaroles being preached to them. They want development. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Will it mean if UDA wins next week, Ricky G has no relevance in the mountain?
No. You know, every leader, whether in a position or wherever they are, they have their own relevance, including being defeated. So let's await for the outcome. But what's most important for us as a governing party is the fact that we want...
I have to say this. You remind me of this phrase. You've never seen a fence you don't want to sit on. Brilliant on every fence you sit on.
It is diplomacy Kibaki style. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, let me start by clarifying something. I said clearly, and the only word I used that is supposed to not have been used is, I said many instead of some. Some of the by-elections that we are doing were because of presidential appointment of elected members of parliament. And it is clear that Mbeere North, where I am, and where I come from, because it's in Embu County, it is because of that. And maybe it's good to tell my brother who is wearing goggles at night that I cannot be impeached. You can only recall a member of parliament, but you cannot impeach a member of parliament. It's good you learn some of these things. Now, my final word, because this is very important, and I feel like I would encourage debates of young people on matters governance. And it is important this show to continue airing this. I have interacted with many of these young people here because of my position as chairman young parliamentarians. But I want to say that young people have suffered immensely, and they have been threatened, kidnapped, maimed. Some have lost their lives crying for good governance in this country. Please, I call upon you not to give up. And you have my ear as the chairman young parliamentarian. We are going to work together to ensure young people do have a voice.
All right.
The many laws that are being passed to gag, especially the social media, we are watchful. The misuse of such issues, we are not going to allow it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks. It's very intense and also very interesting that the political projection, everyone is winning until 27. We expected no less, that every political party rightfully would say they are winning. There's a lot of things to pick up. You know, Senator, you've got direct feedback. It's not just communication, it is actual feedback that most of the young people are feeling that the government interventions have not reached them. You've gotten that, all right? So I hope you take that and use it, all right, to the places that you go. To the, I think, the opposition and projecting, I think there's an opportunity to make sure that these elections are not about feelings. It's about, you know, that we are voting for something, in essence. But anyway, Latif, what's the last one?
Well, it's good for me to take the last one today, specifically because I'm the newest voter in the block. But maybe just to Sanif. Yes, MP, I am a Gen Z, shockingly.
You like young people?
Now for the last one. With the road to Kenya's 2027 general election, here's my cup of advice to the politicians, to those who think they want to lead us, especially us, the animals called Gen Z in this forum. June 2024, we were killed in the streets. That will not be allowed again. That is a constant reminder that we are no longer looking at the individualization of these seats. We are looking at the values of a good leader who must sit on these seats. Therefore, the road to Kenya's 2027 election will require critical things that listeners of this show should take a mark of. There's an economic fury and a bad relationship between Kenyans and the government. The cost of living is bad, taxes are high, and the ethnic-based political mobilization that needs to be emphasized because Kenyans are no longer in the book of tribal politics. We are looking at a change. We're looking at leadership that speaks to the orient of what Kenyans require. You have youth power looking straight at your eyes to ask the questions. And the first response we had last year was the brutal murdering of young people. This time, we will speak with our ballot boxes, we will speak with our votes, and may that reign to remain the power that the people have recognized within themselves. You now have a digital native movement that is demanding transparency and challenging traditional norms. So even the campaigns and the political associations should look upon changing the traditional norms because you now have a new wave of voting. There's also an institutional test that is being looked upon by Kenyans. The IEBC's readiness to calculate and to determine proper elections, but equally its competence in ensuring that there is safety in these new elections and to ensure that there's a curbing of political violence moving forward. So 2027 will be fully determined not only by these by-elections because they are very localized, but importantly by issue-driven citizen power that can overcome Kenya's money-driven, entrenched political machinery that continues to pay off Kenyan votes for mediocrity and bad governance. For the last word, prepare accordingly because the Kenyan voters have changed and it's high time that Kenyan voters get what they absolutely deserve, which is not only good governance, but good leadership that speaks to the Kenyan people. That is the last word. Thank you so much for joining us today. See you again next week, every Tuesday on NTV.
Excellent.
Mic drop.
Yes.